Hey everyone, I am T-Rex and I'm back. I know I've been gone for a while, and that's just because I have a lot of stuff going on in real life. And I was gonna make a ranked May video where I rank all the movies in May, but it was taking way too long. I just don't have the time for those type of videos anymore. So I'm gonna be doing a tier list. It's the same thing. I basically just get to give you all my thoughts, but it's quicker and faster. So I'm gonna be doing that. Also expect future content to be a little bit more laid back, as I just don't have that much time to be making things like this. But I still want to talk to you guys about movies because that's what I love. I love movies, TV show, video games, all that stuff. I just love it, and I want to talk to you guys about it. So I'm going to be trying to get these videos out quickly since I'm way behind. So I'll be doing, this is my everything I saw in May ranked, then I'll be doing June and July, so don't worry about that. Those will be coming out very shortly, hopefully, because last time I said it wouldn't take a month, and it has, and I'm sorry to everyone who's been waiting. But let's get right into it with Star Wars: A New Hope. This is the first movie I saw in May, on May the 4th, which feels like forever ago. I love this movie. It is amazing, but let's not even beat around the bush here. Put it right up in the awesome tier where it belongs. I love this movie. Everything about it is fantastic. I love this world building here. I love the characters. This movie's a classic for a reason. I mean, my gosh, everything they do here is just incredible. I love it. The first act on Tatooine is slow, but it builds the world nearly effortlessly and is a masterclass on world building. The Empire second act might be one of the best second acts of all time. It's just so much fun. I love the trench run. I don't love it as much as the other two acts, but I just still really like it. I just love this movie. It's so much fun. It's so good. It always is going back and forth with Empire with which one I like more. I love this movie. It's just one of my favorites. Next up is Batman Returns, one of the weirdest Batman movies. I really enjoy this movie. I think it's so weird and gross at times and just really odd. It's hilarious. Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, Michelle Pfeiffer. It's weird, but if you're into it, you'll really like it, and I'm on that side. I just really like Batman Returns. A lot of people hate it, like it's just weird. It doesn't really feel like Batman, and to that I kind of agree, but it's so much fun. Danny DeVito as the Penguin is absolutely hilarious and weird and just putting on such a strange performance. It's great. It's one of the weirdest Christmas movies, but I enjoyed it all the way through. This was when I was watching the Batman movies. Gosh, it was a fun time. I really liked Batman Returns. Next up, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I just watched this. It was on Netflix. I said, why not? I've heard good things. It was great. It was very good. It was hilarious and just really entertaining. I'm a pretty, in case you don't know, with all my video game reviews, I like playing video games. And this was great at being a combination of like movies, TV, comics, and video games. And it seemed like a perfect movie for me. I really liked it, but I just don't think I'm as high on it as some other people are. Some people just love this movie. I really enjoy it, and I think it's great, obviously. I put it way up there. But I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. I think it's really fun, an entertaining time. I just don't really like the characters as much as I think I should. I think I should be connecting to them a little bit more. And the story is simple, not bad, but just very simple with the 7 X's, even though it's hilarious. Still a very great movie. The only thing keeping it out awesome is I just don't have that amazing connection. But there's nothing like any huge errors that the movie does. It's a really solid time. Next up is Batman oh no, not this movie. Ugh, let's put it right where it belongs, in the bad category. This movie is garbo. It is not that good. The whole movie's a mess. The villains are just horrible, and the acting all over the place is just terrible. And the funny thing is, you got like good actors in here. Like, my gosh, it's all over the place. It's just horrible. Riddler and Two-Face are abysmal. Like, it's just horrible. Val Kilmer isn't that good, and the movie, honestly, the way it's shot compared to the first two, it feels like an acid trip. Like, there's just neon everywhere, and you feel it's really weird. They're playing Battleship at the end. This movie's a mess. The only thing keeping it out of hot trash is that at times I feel sorry for it. Like, I feel like at times it's trying to be fun, but I don't know how some people like it. There's some people on YouTube who are like, this movie's a classic, and you know, opinions are all valid. Everyone can like what they like. I don't see how people could like this unless it's fueled with nostalgia. I can't see how someone sits down and watches this and goes, yeah, that was fun. I just don't. I hated this. I just can't put it in hot trash because I don't have a burning, like, hatred towards it. It's just, it feels very just bad. Like, I don't know how they kind of completely misfired. We'll get to the total misfire in a bit. Next up is Hot Rod. Now, you might not remember Hot Rod. I think it came out in like 2007. It's a comedy by The Lonely Island. It's pretty good. I thought it was pretty funny. I really liked it. I really like Andy Samberg, and this movie is just kind of that. It's kind of Andy Samberg in small town America, and the premise is kind of weird but really funny. It's he's a stunt guy trying to raise money so he can save his stepdad from dying of a disease, so he can beat him up in a fight to prove he's a man. It sounds convoluted, but it's really funny. There's some amazing bits that you could look up on YouTube to get you sold on it. I think it's on Amazon Prime right now. That's where I watched it. It's just hilarious. Only thing holding back, it's dumb. It's a dumb comedy. That's what holds it back. And I think there are comedies that are better than it. And especially, The Lonely Island even made a better comedy in Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping. That comedy I'd probably put in the awesome tier just because it is so funny. And I love that movie so much. This one's good. It's a good, solid comedy and a very good time. Speaking of not a good time, Batman and Robin. We'll send you right next to your fallen brethren as well. I don't put this in the hot trash because this movie is hilarious. This movie is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen because it's one of the only times that I've truly had no clue what was going on. It was incredible. I did not really know what was going on. It just, so many different things are happening. You have Poison Ivy dancing, you got Weird Bane, you have Batman and Robin, and then Batwoman. You also have, like, Alfred's dying of cancer, and it's just horrible. Oh, I forgot Mr. Freeze. Everybody chill. It's just horrible, but it's so funny that they completely, I don't think, this must have been a joke. They must have written this up as some giant prank on all Batman fans because of how funny it is. It would go in hot trash if I was talking about it on a film level, but personally, it's so bad that it kind of redeems itself up one tier. Not by much, but it does. And I enjoy watching this way more than this because guess what? This one's kind of fun, and I remember a lot more of Batman and Robin than I do of Batman Forever. I think halfway through Batman Forever, my brain realized that its brain cells were dying and shut down to preserve them. And in Batman and Robin, it just didn't even know what was going on. This movie's weird, it's hokey, I kind of like it, but it's bad. I don't want to rewatch it unless it was someone put me at gunpoint. I'd pick that any day of the week. Batman and Robin's better. Don't get mad at me. Next up is Man of Steel. Oh man, Man of Steel. I'm gonna get hate for this. It's okay. It's just okay, and I'm fine with that. Man of Steel is alright. The problem is, there's a lot of things I love about Man of Steel, and there's a lot of things I don't love about it. And I know there's a lot after Zack Snyder Justice League, a lot of Zack Snyder fans, and I like him. I think he's a decent director, but on this movie, there's a lot of things I just don't really connect with. First off, I don't like how mean Superman is. I know everyone will be like, this isn't your mom's Superman. This is a different Superman. This is Zack's Superman. And yeah, I just like Superman being good. I might be a sucker for that, but I just like him being a nice guy. And here he just kind of feels reluctantly a hero. Like he's kind of like his mom and his dad are like, you don't owe this earth anything. I'm like, oh, that's not nice. I think they'd be a little more hopeful. But there's a lot I do like. I love Superman turning into Superman, and I really do like the villains here. I think Michael Shannon's fun, his Zod. I really like that opening scene where they're on Krypton. That was really neat. And there's a lot of individual scenes I really enjoy, like his flight, and the soundtrack here is incredible. It's just that it's kind of like a mess for me. There's a lot I love about his Superman, and there's a lot I just don't really like with his Superman. And it just kind of comes out for me in the middle. I think it's meh. I don't really want to rewatch it, but it doesn't really fail epically at anything. Batman v Superman. This is a movie where there's a lot of things I like a lot more than Man of Steel. But man, do they whiff way more than Man of Steel as well. They shoot for the stars, man. I'll give it that. But man, was Batman v Superman underwhelming. I'll give it that. It was just... Everything with Batman in this movie I'll start off with is basically great. Ben Affleck gives a great version of Batman, and his entire Batman world is really good. Superman is, in my opinion, I think he was just not good. I don't think they executed him well at all. He's sad. he's not happy, and he never has a positive outlook on anything throughout this entire movie. It's just hilarious how sad he is. This is the guy supposed to be saving people and heroic and helpful, and when Lex Luthor's like, I have Batman, you have to go fight Batman, he's like, guess I have to, there's no other way. Just come on, Superman, there's always another way. And speaking of Lex Luthor, it's just horrible. It's a very bad performance by Jesse Eisenberg. It just feels way off the mark. It was a complete misfire on that. But there's a lot of things I love. The fight scenes here are fantastic. The choreography is great. The movie is shot pretty well. I think the color grading could have been worked on, but I really like it. I really like everything with Batman in it. Like, truly, go watch my review. There's a lot of stuff I love with Batman. And there's a lot of things I don't like that much. That said, though, Batman v Superman is a movie that is growing on me. While I probably think Man of Steel will never go higher than an okay, I could see myself over the years kind of growing on Batman v Superman, being able to overlook some of the flaws, because the amount of stuff I like here is way higher than any of the potential of the things that I like in Man of Steel. So right now, it's got a lot more issues for me than Man of Steel, but there's also a lot I like a lot more. So it's just underwhelming. I think if they just spaced the stuff in this movie out over a few more movies, man, that could have been awesome. But, you know, it's Warner Bros. What can you do? Last, though, is Quiet Place Part 2. And boy, did I love this movie. I just had such a good time with it. Oh man, work. There we go. It was so fun. And it's just such a beautifully simple story. There's such a simple goal. I don't want to spoil it because I want everyone who can see it to see it. I think it's out of theaters now. So if you were nervous about seeing it, you can rent it now or get it on Blu-ray. And I would highly encourage that you do so, because man, this was an expertly directed movie by John Krasinski. The cast does an incredible job, and I thought that the horror wouldn't be as good. And while it isn't as scary as the first one, it definitely still has that tension that you'd love for the first one. And it also has a lot of great action. There's a lot more action in this movie. I think John Krasinski really steps up to the plate and nails that as well. And it's just fantastic. I just loved it. It was so good, such a refreshing take, and man, it was such a good movie to return to theaters for. Now, while Godzilla vs. Kong was fantastic, it wasn't as good as Quiet Place 2, because this movie is just so well put together, and it feels like a truly expertly crafted film. And you say, T-Rex, what's your favorite movie still? Is this still your favorite movie of the year? Because in that video, I said there's a lot of movies I could dethrone it. Now, there are some movies I haven't seen yet, and I still think Dune especially has the highest chance of taking that away from it. Currently, out of all the movies I've seen in 2021, there's still a few I haven't seen, like Suicide Squad, Zack Snyder's Justice League, a few of those like that I still really want to see to make sure. This is still, out of all the movies I've seen this year, still my favorite. It still held that title throughout every movie that I thought could take it down. This movie was just incredible. I loved it, and you should really go check it out and support this film. Alright, now it's time to rank the 9 movies. Last place is going to be Batman Forever. You're probably saying, what? How? How is Batman Forever worse than this? And I just think it's boring. I think this movie is not as fun or as funny. It's just kind of bad, and not in the fun version of bad. It's just like, ugh, I don't ever want to watch that again. Batman and Robin, on the other hand, is hilarious. It's so bad that it comes around and is funny, and at least a more enjoyable experience. That's why this one, I like Batman and Robin more, even though it's objectively a way worse film. But I like it more. Number 7 is going to be Batman v Superman. This movie, there's a lot I like, and by the way, the quality between Batman and Robin and Batman v Superman is staggering. Zack Snyder is a very competent director. He knows what he's doing. I think he kind of just got screwed over by Warner Bros. By having him shove so much things in the movie, and I think they just made a bad call when it came to Lex Luthor. I think if they just got anyone else other than Jesse Eisenberg, it could have been a great Lex Luthor. He's just not good, and I'm sorry, I don't want to be like rude to him. I mean, he's trying his best, but man, just a missed opportunity there. I think the Superman side of the story was weak, and they could have written it a lot better and made him a lot more interesting. Batman was great. There's a lot of things I love. It's just, it doesn't always come together. Next, Man of Steel. This one, still very okay. A lot I love, a lot I don't like, but it doesn't really make the mistakes that Batman v Superman does, so it's very just okay. It doesn't really hit any of the high notes I love, but man, it does not make any of the huge mistakes that any of the movies come out that are below it. It's just fine, sitting right in the middle. It's a totally fine film. Next is Hot Rod. It's a very funny, solid comedy. If you just want to laugh for like an hour and a half, this is that perfect movie to just throw on a Friday night and just grab a bowl of popcorn and, just have a really good time. It's not trying to be Citizen Kane, and it really succeeds at just being a funny comedy, and is exactly what it tries to be. Now, out of these, I do like, oh man, which one do I like more? I think I'm going to give the edge to Scott Pilgrim. I just think it's a better film, objectively. I still love Batman Returns. I think it is so funny and weird. And if you ask me, yeah, I'm gonna start watching this at Christmas. It is one of those new Christmas movies next to Die Hard. It is so weird and gross, and I love it. It's just, everything about it is fun. And I think that really nails that, and it knows what it is. It's this weird, dark, twisted comic book movie, and Tim Burton nails it. Everyone in the cast nails it. It is so fun and just such a weird movie. I love it. Scott Pilgrim probably hits the edge over it just because of the technical directorial style. I love the style this movie has, and the editing is so great, and the attention to detail is just incredible. Only thing holding it back, I just don't connect with those characters and stories as much as I would like to, but this is totally a movie where I feel like it's a lot more style over substance, but not in a bad way. It is just so visually stunning and interesting that it really just feels like a much more interesting movie than Batman Returns. Even though I really like both, I'm going to give this a nod to Scott Pilgrim. And in second, Quiet Place Part 2. Listen, nothing against the movie, but you're not going to beat out Star Wars for me, because Star Wars is just amazing. I love Quiet Place Part 2, very expertly crafted film, and my #1 movie still, but no, Star Wars New Hope is just one of my favorite films ever, period. I love it. So that's why it's going to beat out Quiet Place 2, but once again, Quiet Place 2 at that 2 spot is incredible, and everyone should go see it and support Tom Krasinski's film, because man, he knocked it out of the park. And if you've seen the movie, you'll get that reference. If you remember the movies you saw in May, let me know down below in the comments section. Anyways, my next video is going to be all the movies I saw in June and then July, and hopefully we'll be done before the end of August, and then we'll do that. Anyways, when my next video comes out, see you then. Bye.